Hey guys, welcome back. We are playing more Phoenix Wright. Rise from the Ashes. I will never remember that. Last time Meekins was on trial, or on the witness stand, Edward tried getting us to fall into the trap of only one person was murdered, and that only one Goodman was murdered, and that was the one at the prosecutor's office. But we still have our trump card, which is a lone hombre. Let's buggy. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand, the officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. The man who's gonna drink on this on the witness stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind. I've never heard Edward described that way before. Now, I was gave Edward the country voice. And now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. Oh, what do you mean? Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert skies. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony the day of the crime. In plain old English. It ain't gonna be no old English. My job is to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, we're protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I particularly care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Because not all of us are shaving our fucking beards everywhere. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and an ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? Ooh, what kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. I feel like the fact... I want to press that. I want to press this. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak and lunches can beat that parlor's vongole sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? I love the idea of that ending up being like udon or ramen or something, and then they just kept it as noodles. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edward says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" I guess we could press that. You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint lock mechanism. Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. Okay, don't try to sound like heroic when you're just stupid. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handle cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us where you were? Okay. Did that. Let's press that. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't step foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? How exactly do you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interned recordings. You interred them. Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time comes, I'd erase the tape. Nothing unusual is recorded. The tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatics, but it doesn't do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Here's my thing. I do want to look at this. Victims. That's executive investigators. Gant and Sky, head investigator Goodman. Marshall and Starr were secondary. Okay. I want to press this. But we don't have where he says that he hasn't been in there in weeks. Okay, so we can... Hold on. Now we play our trump card. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or, to be exact, a handprint. Wasn't real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is. I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Why do these cowboy boots look like heels? Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall. Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Let's do this. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained. That feels like a load of shit. Murderer touched the locker when my fingerprint was by chance. That is the dumbest bullshit I've ever fucking heard. Blood stain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness is fucking stupid. Although there's room for doubt, life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. And the defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. See, I feel like if Emma was here, Emma would be losing her mind over this. It doesn't just have... So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine, it's no mystery. Please explain. My locker's covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. I thought he went in there. You don't have a locker anymore because you're not a detective. The chances of that happen. Are we not focusing on the fact he's not a detective? I don't think he's a patrolman. He's not a detective anymore. He shouldn't have a locker, and if he does have a locker, then he would know about the fingerprints. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are in 1,000,001. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? How do you know the murderer was girly? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There's a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of That is the dumbest fucking thing. Here's the thing, that it wouldn't line up. Like, you would have had a half of a fucking fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. I don't think you have a full brain. If you weren't some, like, wannabe cowboy, I would assume that a bull has, like, thrown you off, like, numerous times since your birth, and your brain is just a pile of mush. I can't let him squirm out of this one. I've got to find something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. How about the fact he's not a fucking officer anymore? Wait, why was this pulled in? I just realized that, like, The only thing I could think would be pulling the SL9 incident files, but I don't think that's it. Okay, we need to press on this. That's because how you put it, pay your respects once a month. Yeah, that's right, that and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. That was also the one with shit sticking out of it that was there and then wasn't there. What do you mean? I mean what I said. That locker I used when I was a detective, the locker I still use. You shouldn't still have that locker if you're not a detective and you haven't been a detective for like 2 years. All that's in there now is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. We found one. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. You starting to get the picture, partner? The picture. This seal of blood is in the desert. It's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony. Okay. Too bad it wasn't me. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right? Ain't that right, partner? If so, that evidence is the only direct evidence you have. That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can't show us evidence in this video that indicates Mr. Officer Marshall was present, I think we have evidence. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then... Okay. This is what I'm thinking. The fact that there's nothing there, and then as we shimmy along... Let's shimmy along. Now it's relevant. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. These days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. But just sum up what you have in 8 words or less. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out of it, that was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a little bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order! Order! It would seem... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. You just said that was your locker, dipshit. So what if my locker was open? It doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Did we not just go through all of this, dumbass? No wonder SL9 got fucked up. You were on the case. Murderer needed to hide something, so we opened the locker and stuck it in. There was nothing to state that it was open. There's only one way that you can get it open, dumbass. It's not my fault he having to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Because you're a dumbass. This guy isn't just playing dumb, he really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call you bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. It has to be the fingerprints. Right? Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah. Fingerprint sensor. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Go fuck yourself, douchebag. I only got one more for you, partner. Again, these cowboy boots look like they have heels. Like, it's not like a regular heel on a cowboy boot. It looks like a stiletto heel. Like, this is a joke and it's the worst I ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? Seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. This was Officer Marshall. Take that! Oh, did I hit the wrong one? Did I hit the wrong one? Shoot, I might have. Yeah, I put him in the wrong spot. It's fine. Because I put Meekins. I was like, victim, Meekins. It's fine. I fucked up. I hit the wrong button. Officer Marshall was standing right there. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he knew for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goldman's picture is on his ID card. Goldman, same thing. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You have quite an imagination, partner. Yeah, a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence. He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving how dressed up is the victim. Huh. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics. Or me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I should look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it had been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. After committing a crime, the witness opened a locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness opened the white cloth. Is it the glove? Like, it can't be the glove. Ooh, hold on.
Take that!
Shoot! I hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Okay. I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit pause, and I hit present. Yeah, so if you look. Because I wasn't sure. Ah! Wrong button. Wrong way.
Take that!
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, and though I don't know to what end yet. Yeah. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekin barged in on you. When asked to show your ID, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner.